Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to another Daily Dice, where we ask the dice for a message and find out what that is. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anyone that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And with that, today we are going to get this message found you for a reason. I'm going to be using the Animal Oracle Spirit by Kim Kranz. So let's go ahead and give this a quick shuffle. Source, what is the message that was meant to find my fellow humans today? What is the message you'd like to bring through that was meant to find my fellow humans today, Source? Thank you. What's the message that was meant to find my fellow humans today, Source? Message that was meant to find my fellow humans. What oracle card will help us better understand that, Source? Okay, wow, you're getting two. I'm not going to look at the bottom one, but we've got black egg on top. Definitely a powerful message right out the bat. We've got elk on the bottom. So definitely facing our emotional ego. This has been a pattern for this week for the collective coming through, is facing those parts of our emotional ego that we don't like, right? And it's just a part of our healing process. So giving ourselves grace is so vital at this time. So Source, what is the message that was meant to find my fellow humans? What would you like them to know? What is the message that was meant to find my fellow humans? What would you like to tell us? Okay, so we've got the third house. I already know where this is going. We've got Virgo energy and the sun. Okay, before I get into this, I'm just going to say this is going to be a triggering message. I already know where Source wants to go with this. I understand the purpose of this, but I need to let you know right now, if you trigger easily, this might not be the message for you. And remembering that triggers are our way of finding out where it is that we need to do healing, right? Where we need to let go. So I'm just putting it out there. If you're brave and you want to stick with me, I applaud you on your efforts. And I know that this might not be easy, but I can promise you that the healing in and of itself is definitely worth it. So we've got the third house. We've got Virgo energy and the sun. There's an identity here that is coming up that has an attachment to a twin flame. Okay, so already I'm telling you, this is not going to be an easy reading. But with the sun in the third house, this is showing me that there's an emotional egoic identity that's attached to the twin flame that is creating a lot of overanalysis, a lot of overthinking, a lot of worry, a lot of fear, not being able to communicate the way that you need to, or worrying about communicating truthfully and honestly with yourself as well. And we might not be focusing on your twin, okay? Like, we might not even be focusing on them at all, but this is about identifying with that and knowing that there is really no true identity there, because the more that we put pressure on it having to be a certain person and it having to be a certain type of connection, the more that we distance ourselves from the truth of what that idea is bringing to us, which is the freedom of life through unconditional love, right? We're saying it has to be this person. I have to manifest my twin. I have to have a physical relationship with them. If you truly are a twin flame, you never are distant from your twin except for in the physical. And there shouldn't be this worry about having a physical connection with them, because most twin flames have gone through relationships in one lifetime that last a million lifetimes, that are very heavy, very disoriented, very toxic by nature, and frustrating and overwhelming. And everybody's story is different, okay, and understanding that. But right now it's interesting that that's what it was with elk being on the bottom of the deck over here. And let me just show you, it's right here. We have Elk out here, and Elk's talking about the divine masculine, but Elk also does talk about sometimes being very stubborn and stuck in our emotional ego. And the third house is a house that I equate with twin flames. It's just how I've always done it since I've read dice. I can't tell you why. It was an inspiration and a divine guidance for me. And so this energy right now is making me feel this fear, like, oh my gosh, if I don't get my twin, if I don't have them in this lifetime, then there's obviously something that is detrimentally wrong with me. There's something that's detrimentally wrong with the way I'm doing this journey. Instead of enjoying the process, you're scared about the process or fearful of the process in and of itself. And it's creating too much anxiety, which is creating a lot of pitfalls in your journey, and which is also creating a lot of really high highs and low lows. That's like there's no leveling out. And part of our journey is learning how to level out our energy so that we can come into this place of steadiness, so that even though there are going to be difficult things that we face, we're not completely bulldozed by them. And equally so, when there are moments for celebration, we're able to celebrate them with humility and modesty and humbleness, right? So let's see what's going to come out. What is the message that was meant to find my fellow humans today? What is the message that was meant to find my fellow humans today? Yeah, we're dealing with a broken heart. So it's almost like taking on this identity was a way of easing the hard relationships that you'd been through in the past. Well, that would make sense, right? If I'm a twin flame, then I went through all these harrowing experiences because I'm a twin flame. So the identity is still there. And I didn't bring that up so that we could identify with it. I'm bringing it up because usually what happens is it's a reminder that what we have known as love our entire lives is actually a falsified image of love. It's conditional love. That's all that we've ever known. And what is being brought up here is that that image is being romanticized, and that romanticization of that image is what we're identifying with, believing that that is what will fulfill us. And that's what Source is saying, like, that's not going to fulfill you at all. Because if your twin flame were to come in today, you would be happy. But if you're not happy with yourself, if you're still feeling disconnected from yourself, there would be self-sabotage just around the corner. Source, what is the message that was meant to find my fellow humans today? Yep, spiritual disconnection, spiritual deflation, right? Look at that. And the King of Cups in the reverse. Not being emotionally sound when it comes to this. Ace of Cups on the bottom. This is not about love coming in. The Ace of Cups in the Tarot Marseille talks about building that relationship with the divine, building that relationship with Source. This is all about you connecting to that higher power and regrounding yourself by filling up your cup through the divine love. Not the divine love of someone else. This is the divine love of Source coming in and helping to fill up your cup. You notice how this cup looks like a cathedral, right? It's talking about our faith in the love that exists of the Creator. Whatever you believe the Creator to be, it doesn't matter. That's not what matters here. But it's belief in that love, belief in that fulfillment from the Creator, the one that created us, Source, from whence we came, right? And so when we believe in that, we become overflowing, and we can pass that overflowing love onto others. Not at the detriment of ourselves, but because we've gone the extra mile of really connecting on a deeper level here. And so there's a lot of hurt and pain that's being brought up with your reading right now in regards to both the Chariot in the reverse and the King of Cups in reverse. We see that there's someone here who's emotionally disconnected, who's not able to be present in an emotional way because they just don't have it. They just don't have it. And the King of Cups is actually the oldest king in the Tarot Marseille, right? He's the one that's full of wisdom, because emotional wisdom is one of the most beneficial things that we can have in our lives, because it puts us in a place where we're not being ruled by our emotions. In other words, when a trigger happens, we're not just acting because of our trigger. Rather, we might get the trigger, but when we're in a place of emotional maturity, we recognize the trigger, and instead we turn inward and ask, okay, Why do I feel this way? What's going on? What do I need to solve? What do I need to focus on so that I don't let this become a projection of how I feel? And the twin flame journey has turned into, it's interesting. I heard a stigmata. That was the word that came through. It's turned into an egregore as well, where everybody keeps feeding into it. And I actually said this on a reading earlier this week, where it was like sex and love are the two things that sell the most around the world. It's like, from a marketing standpoint, they're incredibly effective marketing strategies. And while I would love to say that people on the spiritual journey are all coming from a high place of love, that they all have our best interests, there are a lot of people who are on the spiritual journey and on that ride because they see it as a fast track ticket to success. And so there are going to be people who are not looking out for your best interest, or who are also coming from an emotional, wounded place where it has to be exactly what everybody says it is, that it has to become a physical manifestation. I am not saying it won't come as a physical manifestation. What is coming through is that when we identify with that physical manifestation of a connection, we have lost the purpose and the meaning behind what that connection is. And that is a connection with the divine. A twin flame connection is not about another person. It is literally about us coming into oneness with Source. That's all it's ever been, and that's all it should ever be. The fact that there's another person on the journey kind of sweetens the deal for us when that person does come in, if they come in this lifetime. But what a lot of people aren't mentioning is that there's a lot of different levels for people on their journey. Not everyone is guaranteed a physical 3D connection in this lifetime, because not everybody is on the same level of their journey. And there are twin flames that are not yet manifested in physical reality. And no one is also talking about the fact that there are twin flames that aren't people that we can have a sexual relationship, i.e. parents, children, friends, family. You know, like these are things that we need to be bringing up so that we take away the romanticized idea of what a twin flame is and really begin to honor it for the blessing that it is, rather than seeing it as this curse of an elusive romantic relationship that I'm never getting. Right? What it teaches us is to draw away from that identity that we have become so glued to, which is us being in this King of Cups and reverse energy. It's saying that I am not able to discern who I am without this label. But you are so much more than the label. The label is something that's human, it's man-made, human-made, which means it's full of flaws, which means that it's not always going to be 100%. But we love to hold on to things like that. And with the Chariot here, we see this is spiritual deflation, feeling defeated, feeling like things aren't working out for you. And Source calling you back home with this Ace of Cups. This is a lot of water to come out here in this reading, which is why I said I already knew the place that this reading was going. We were talking about twin flame connections, and that's not an easy subject because so many people want to hear what they want to hear. And I've never been a reader that's here telling you what you want to hear. I was created to be someone who's saying what needs to be heard, because it's how Source channels through me. It's how Source has always channeled through me, right? Sometimes it's pretty, sometimes it's ugly, but it doesn't make it any less so, right? And that's sometimes what's really difficult. But you're looking at difficulty and coming over an emotional blow, a pessimistic outlook caused by negative past experiences, right? And this is not negative. I'm not trying to be negative about this. What I'm trying to do is open up light to the fact that if you're holding on to this connection is going to make up for all those crappy relationships that I had in the past, we've lost the connection. If you're looking at this connection as this is the only thing that's going to bring me happiness and fulfillment in this life, you've lost the connection. If you're looking at this connection as this is the only thing that will make me feel validated in this life, you've lost the connection. Do you see the pattern? The pattern is simple. We've lost ourselves when we've begun to identify with the label. Okay, but sometimes we can't see it that way because the identity is much greater than the journey, and we're trying to switch it up and bring you back to the beauty and the strength that's in the journey of itself. Okay, we're looking at an inner weakness here behind an external show off: arrogance and vanity, overprotectiveness, emotional closure, confusion about one's goal, and losing simple touch with people and reality because of this idea. Not able to reconnect with the outside world because no, everybody out there is toxic except for my twin flame. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this on this journey. I can't connect with anybody out there in the world because no one is my twin flame. We're only limiting ourselves from enjoying this world, and we're only putting ourselves in a little box. And that was never the intention. We're meant to be free, floating spirits here experiencing a human experience. And if we're saying that we can't connect with others because they're not a certain energy, we're basically saying like we'll never have another person in our lives unless it's a twin flame. You have soul family out there. You have people who are on the same vibrational level as you. You have people who are out there that want to experience some of the things that you want to experience and share that with you. But this idea of love coming in and the emotional ego with the elk, okay, with the elk coming in here, it's about freeing yourself from that identity and letting yourself experience the truth of your journey, which is to grow and expand. Okay? It's hard sometimes. There are a lot of toxic people out there. I'm not going to deny that. There are a lot of people out there who don't have our best interests at heart, and I understand that. But we can't just put everyone into that basket. If we put everyone into that basket, you will be alone for the rest of your life. Look at this. We have air on the bottom with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Open-mindedness. Being open-minded about these potential messages that are finding you for purpose. Objectivity and learning. Not being so attached to it has to be a certain way. When we become attached to it being a certain way, we've already lost love. Right? If we're saying, oh, well, so-and-so is telling me I'm never going to get with my twin flame, and that's because they're not healed. That's our judgment. And judgment is a loss of love. Right? That's why sometimes we have to be open to hearing things that are difficult because we can actually learn something more about ourselves. Look, we have Libra, exactly. Consideration, fairness, and harmony. We're trying to reharmonize your energy, source is saying. We've considered how you feel and we understand, but sometimes I know better than you know yourself. And you have to trust that I have something greater planned for you, but you have to let go, right? It's like, I remember seeing this picture and they're showing me this picture of where Jesus, and whether you believe in Christianity or not, it's not about that. It's just this image is very powerful, right? It's where Jesus is walking up to a child and he has this massive teddy bear behind his back, but the little child is holding on to this little teddy bear that's all beat up and ruined and the eyeball's gone, and he's reaching out his hand and he's like, give me your teddy bear. And the child's like, no, this is the only teddy bear I have. But Jesus is about to give this child a massive gift, a huge teddy bear that it can only imagine. But the child doesn't want to let go of the teddy bear it already has. And that's exactly the type of energy that's coming through. It's like, I don't want to let go of this because, oh my gosh, there's nothing better. There's no one out there that's going to fulfill me like they are. You've lost love. Because you're judging everybody. You're saying no one will be this person. And imagine the pressure that you're putting on this person as well, saying it has to be you. So they feel that. They feel that pressure, right? You feel that pressure when someone puts that pressure on you. So they feel it too. Leo, self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. Okay? Like we're trying to bring you back to this place where you feel confident about yourself. There's a loss of confidence with this connection right now. It's like feeling like you can't be confident in who you are, feeling beautiful or good looking or amazing and sexy or whatever. Like you can't feel that way because it feels like, well, if this person's not coming forward, then obviously there's something wrong with me. or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not healing enough. Do you see, again, another pattern? I'm not enough. Isn't that what we've been setting out to heal since we started this? Look, I feel like the angels are coming through because of this card. Angel, helping those in need with no expectation of anything in return. Innocent, or acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. I feel like this is showing you, like, there are some people out here who are going to mislead you for their own benefit, right? For gaining money, for gaining clout, for gaining these things, and leading you away from your own truth and your own innocence. And there's so many people out there that are putting it on the divine feminine, saying it's the divine feminine fault if they're not connected with their divine masculine. I'm pretty sure that we went through that as a child, people telling us that we weren't enough, and that's why things were failing in our lives. So why are we going to let someone in the spiritual community, when we're trying to raise our vibration, convince us of that because of this grand love? It doesn't make sense, right? So I feel like the angels have definitely been giving you signs and synchronicities. I feel like you've been getting intuitive nudges to let go, but that fear is still present. Martyr, learning to transcend the nature of service to oneself or a cause. And then we have addiction to self-pity down here. This is interesting because 2 pink cards came out together, and this is talking about reconnecting with your heart chakra. Okay, look, a pink shirt here and a green shirt here, all about connecting with your heart chakra, coming back to that love, that self-love. On the bottom, judge. Wow. What was I saying earlier? The minute we judge another person, right? I'm not sitting here. It's like, you have to understand, we have to be realistic that not everybody is for us. We have to be realistic about that. But the minute we're pointing a finger and saying, no, you're wrong because we're in that place of judging another person, and that's when we've lost ourself, our connection to love. It says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Shadow says offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Coming back into this balance. Source wants you to love yourself so much that if you were to never manifest your twin flame connection in this lifetime, you would be okay. That's what you deserve. You deserve to be okay if you don't manifest the love of your life in this lifetime. Because your existence should never be dependent on someone else coming into your life. That's not fair, and that was never the design. Right? You deserve to love yourself so much that you recognize your worth in this moment. All right, I'm going to get a couple of these and then we're going to read your cards. What else, Source? What was the message that was meant to find them today? What would you like to say? Okay, one more. Yeah, here we go. We have threat, feud, natural enemy, and deadly threat. Like this is what it feels like. It feels like life is falling apart. It feels like, how could this ever truly be when I've believed it was one way for so long? And it's understandable. It's hard, right? It's hard to see it a different way, but sometimes that's, when we get so obstinate about a certain thing, like we're denying ourselves the beauty of seeing all angles of it. And, a snake can also be a symbol of being reborn and letting ourselves experience the shedding of a skin that no longer fits us because we've outgrown it. And so the natural enemy here is remembering that the shadow will always try to fight the good, whether that is directed by a consciousness or not. It's just the shadow will always try to fight the light, is what I'm saying. And the light will always fight the shadow because it's the dualistic nature of existence, the natural enemy that exists. So the natural enemy to shadow is light, and the natural enemy to light is shadow. It's just the way that it exists. How do we bring that into balance? By accepting both as they are. We diffuse either one from solely having complete power over us and come into a state of relaxation, peace, and well-being. anniversary, birthday, holiday, important day. So there could be an important day that's coming up that's really triggering this, or something that just recently passed that's triggering this. And then on the bottom, we have evolution, transformation, reinvent, and new beginnings. Yeah. So there's a period of evolution here, helping you to let go. Let's check out what Black Egg is saying here. That's one of these. Okay, dragon, sea serpent, phoenix. This is the golden egg. The black egg has to do for truth. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures. The truth inside of it resides. No confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies. Not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, balance, the judge, balance, all the balance today, right? When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in. Books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? What is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear. Wow. Thank you so much, Source, for that. Thank you. Gossip or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every minute, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. It's connected with the 5th chakra, or the Vishuddha chakra. It says the subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra, or chakra. Ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translate as especially pure. The balance of this center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. So there's a truth here that's trying to be expressed within you, but there's an uncertainty that's keeping it from being expressed. Let's see what your second card is. The oyster. All right. So the oyster is water. All right. Come on, oyster. Where are you at? Okay. Look at this. Come here, homie. Okay, so we've got patient, secret keeper, hiding inner treasures. The focus and determination of the oyster is unmatched. Anything an oyster personality puts their mind to, they achieve with grace and charm. The only problem is, oyster types often take their inner gifts for granted. They become shy or doubtful, and this can lead to withdrawing or protecting their deepest desires in life work. When the oyster card appears, it's important to reveal your inner treasures. What is it that you've been hesitant to share? The world is waiting to see. When balanced, it says feels blessed, generous, and masterful. When out of balance, reluctant, griping, or clams up. To bring into balance, share something. Yeah, so I feel like that's it. You've been in this reluctant, clammed up type of energy because of this connection. It's like, what's the point of this connection if all it's going to create is a lot of drama or chaos in my life? But the truth is that being in that mindset has disconnected you from the truth of the connection, which is to find unconditional love. And unconditional love means to love oneself wholeheartedly and to come into radical self-acceptance before we gift that love to someone else. It doesn't mean that they're not there, right? Like they're always there. They're always on our mind. They're always hovering just outside of our peripheral. But before we could ever even hope to give that love to them, we have to first give that love to ourselves, because otherwise we'll always be disharmonious and that will be out of balance. And so with the elk here, it's the highlight is to let go of the emotional ego with the sun up here, right? The sun, look at these cards are both really dark, coming into the shadow, accepting the shadow as it is, letting the light be your guide, but understanding that there's a shadow aspect here at play that needs to be understood and embraced. And when you embrace that, it will free you from the cages and the confines that maybe you've created or maybe you've taken on from someone else in regards to what a twin flame connection is. Okay, so this is what I see here for you. If you made it to the end, here is a big, big, big hug for you, because I know this is not easy. I know it is not. And if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little egg emoji down below and say, I am birthed anew by allowing my perspectives to soar higher than I ever thought possible and letting go of conditioned beliefs. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box in order to do so. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very deep, very profound message. And until next time, stay human. Bye.